warrior, goddess, captain of the guard, adopted daughter, protector, and deific clone, Teela has been many things throughout the various lores of Masters of the Universe. Being one of the big three of the line of heroic warriors, Teela is an ever-present character alongside Hiam and her adopted father, Man-at-Arms. While Teela has been mentioned here many times, and we touched on her origin when we looked at the green-skinned goddess, we've never delved into her character directly. Now, with her playing a big role in the upcoming Masters of the Universe revelation, it's time to change that. Hi everyone, I'm Mac, and this is Mega Construx Masters of the Universe. This is Teela.
By the power of Grayskull!
Before we get started, we're going to be talking a little bit about Revelation at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Now, during our countdown to Castle Grayskull, we delved into Teela's origin in the mini-comics when we explored the character of the goddess, so we're not going to get into that too much here. And while there have been numerous releases of Teela for the Masters of the Universe line, we're only going to focus on the most recent cardback figure, because unlike Faker, all the figures of Teela that have been released have all pretty much been the same, with the only true difference being color variations. In the mini-comics, Teela has been part of the narrative since the beginning. She is introduced on page 6 of the first issue, He-Man and the Power Sword. She is referred to as the Warrior Goddess, a title she would carry for much of the initial mini-comic run, and Skeletor seems to think that she is somehow a key to gaining entry into Castle Grayskull, and that by taking her as his bride, the secrets of the castle will be unlocked. This plan, of course, is foiled by He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and the Goddess, referred to as the Sorceress at the time, and she becomes one of the big three of the line from that point forward. She appears in nearly every issue of the mini-comic, and in the second issue is made the protector of Castle Grayskull by the very spirit of the castle itself. In the issue titled The Tale of Teela, an issue we've discussed a lot on this channel, we learn Teela's origin is that she is actually a clone of the goddess herself, a clone that was made by Skeletor when he harnessed the power of Point Dread. His plan was to create a duplicate and raise her as his own and then marry her, and use her power to gain entry to Grayskull. Little did the Lord of Destruction suspect that Teela would become her own being, her own woman, and follow her own path. Even the goddess recognized that Teela was her own woman when she had the opportunity to join with the warrior woman and become a complete being again. It was at this point she opted to split and let Teela live her own life. And this was her story right up until the issue titled The Power of Point Dread. After this issue, the continuity of the mini-comics changed and began to veer into that of the Filmation series. In this, Teela became captain of the Royal Guard, and it could be argued that her role was diminished. But I'd argue that everyone's role was diminished, and the narrative started to focus on just He-Man and Skeletor, and whoever the featured character for that issue was. It's interesting to note that the easiest way to tell which continuity a mini-comic is in is by Teela's hair. In the first batch of mini-comics, she's blonde, but once the storytelling shifts to the Filmation style, her hair becomes more auburn, more red, resembling her animated series coloring. In the Filmation series, Teela is the captain of the Royal Guard and protector of Prince Adam. She is a strong warrior and is fiercely loyal to her friends, family, and kingdom. In the episode titled Teela's Quest, we learn that she is actually the daughter of the Sorceress. The identity of her father is not revealed, though he is described as a great warrior. It is also revealed that Man-at-Arms is her adopted father, having found Teela when she was a baby. Her history and backstory mimic her mini-comic origins so much. The biggest difference is that here, in the Filmation series, the identity of her mother being the Sorceress is kept a secret from her for reasons. In fact, if I had any issue with Teela's character in the Filmation series, it was that so many secrets were kept from her for apparently no reason at all. He-Man's true identity is Prince Adam, the Sorceress being her mother, and even Duncan being her adopted father until she found out on her own, were all secrets kept from her. I find this confusing when knowledge of all of this would have made her job so much easier. In both incarnations of Masters of the Universe, Teela is a more than capable warrior, battling the evil warriors alongside He-Man and Man-at-Arms. In both incarnations, she is the adopted daughter of Duncan, and in both incarnations, she has a blood connection to the Sorcerer or Goddess, which, depending on which continuity you're following, they're kind of interchangeable. Mega Construx's latest release of Teela is great for two reasons. One, it is the first single figure released that comes with her snake hood armor. Previous releases of Teela that came with her Cobra armor were the Castle Grayskull release and then the Battle Bones release. Two sets that not everyone would necessarily get. In fact, in the case of Battle Bones, even if you wanted to buy it, you may not be able to find it. So now, it's good that Mega Construx finally gave us a card-backed release of Teela in her full regalia. And two, this is a vintage figure accurate release of Teela. Looking at her bodysuit, the gold bracers and her armbands, and the gold detail work on her outfit, it is all a replication of her 80s vintage figure. Now, having said that, I have to admit that this figure is basically a complete reissuing of the Teela that came with Battle Bones. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because the Teela we received with Battle Bones was a great figure, but I'm just used to having a different look to the micro-action figures with every release. However, as previously stated, not everyone is able to get their hands on Battle Bones, and it would have been a shame if that would have been the only true vintage figure release of the figure. One thing that is curious is that she is lacking her typical golden tiara. Her head sculpt hasn't changed since her first figure, so the molding for the tiara is there. They just painted her brunette hair over it instead of detailing the tiara and making it stand out. Along with her snakehood armor, Teela has her Ka staff and shield, both of which are a much darker color than we've received before. A chestnut brown instead of the standard tan, the staff of Ka and her shield are the only true unique pieces to this figure. That and the new style figure stand she comes with. The tan of her snakehood and the dark brown of her staff and shield don't match, but if you take the staff and shield from the Battle for Eternia collector's pack and put it with her, you'll have a matching set. And likewise, if you take the snakehood armor off the Castle Grayskull goddess, you'll have everything matching up as well. While I get that some people will like her being completely color coordinated, I feel this gives a rather bland look to her when fully equipped. Teela is a must-have for your collection. If you missed her when the line first started, which it's possible a lot of people did, or you weren't able to get her with Battle Bones, this is the figure for you, completing your 3 main heroic warriors. And it wasn't until I was writing the script for this review that I realized how much the big 3 of He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela actually mirror the DC trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. My only issue with Teela is that with all the releases we've received with her so far, we have yet to get a blonde version of her. If you remember, I did kit bash a figure together to get a near mini-comic version of her, so check that out if you're curious. Really hoping that if we get another release of her, she's blonde and has her golden sword and shield. Although, with the upcoming release of Masters of the Universe Revelation, I'm guessing that the next release of her will be a redhead Filmation variant. As of the time of this video, Masters of the Universe Revelation releases tomorrow, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. Are you going to watch it? I don't have a community tab on my channel yet, but I do have a discussion tab, and I'm probably going to be making a post there after the show, so feel free to take a look, and let's talk about this new incarnation of the Masters of the Universe. I may even do a series review, I'm not sure yet. So until we talk after the show airs on Netflix, play well everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.